Hello, Grizzlies, and welcome back to another episode of Grizzly True Crime. My name is Gisela K, and I'm South African living in the Netherlands, if you guys didn't know. And today we continue to look at the Idaho case. Very scary case. I know it's on everybody's minds all the time. Even Mike from that chapter recently did an episode, and he's like, I can't sleep at night because of this case. So I'm sure we all feel like that. And so today we're going to cover the updates. We're looking at what Moscow PD said. We'll look at their latest 2 videos that they've released. There's a lot to cover. There's a lot. And of course, based on my thumbnail, we're going to talk about that stuff as well. Possible, pranks, escalating violence, things like that. So thank you for being here. I really appreciate it. If you wouldn't mind, like the video, please share it as well. You could say hashtag Idaho4, Idaho homicides or Idaho students. And of course, you can also use the hashtag Grizzly True Crime so other Grizzlies know where to find us right now. All right. So I'm quickly going to just put this on slow mode like this. Just hold on 1 second. All right. Leah says, I hope this investigation is moving along. So many haters lists putting crapola out there. I know, right? It's like, wow, there's a lot of stuff out there now. The case has reached that point. So first, we're going to start with what I always start with, if Moscow PD has put out an update. And this was their latest press release, which is from yesterday. All right. So they say, let me zoom in. For immediate release, December 16, 2022, the Moscow Police Department is providing the following information to update the public on the known facts surrounding the 4 murders that occurred on November 13th in Moscow, Idaho. After sorting through the majority of the digital content gathered from critical cameras during crucial times before and after the homicides took place, investigators continue to comb through hours and hours of digital content submitted by businesses, homes, and the public. Investigators continue to ask the public for additional help in searching for a white 2011 to 2013 Hyundai Elantra in the immediate area of the King Road residence during the early morning hours of November 13th. Investigators believe the occupant of this vehicle may have critical information to share regarding the case. Now, just keep in mind, they have never said it's the killer driving the car. It could be, but it could also be a critical witness. It could be someone who gave someone a ride to the house. Maybe someone was hitchhiking, for example, or saying, can you just quickly drop me off there? Like from maybe the corner club or from anyway, like, hey man, can you just quickly drop me off there? Thanks. You just don't know. Maybe that's why they want to talk to them as well, right? So I mean, it's interesting that no one has come forward yet that drove that white Elantra. That is interesting. That makes it seem more like, oh dear, they're tracking them down, aren't they? And I think they are zeroing in on it based on just their movements in the last 24 hours, which we will look at as well. Pernille says, for Fury, Mr. and Mrs. G. Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. I just quickly want to go to this channel here. Okay. Thank you. All right. So then they say there's a massive amount of digital content to review with a robust team dedicated to handling digital submissions. Other members of the investigation team are dedicated specifically to email tips, while another team is assigned to tip line calls. The investigative pace will not slow down for the weekend or the holidays. They were recently asked that as well. What about Christmas? They say they're not slowing down, and the departure of University of Idaho students returning home for winter break is not expected to cause any slowdown in the investigation. You can submit digital media video to fbi.gov/Moscow, Idaho, or tip line at ci.moscow.id.us. See an interview about the investigation and pace over the holidays, as well as digital information submitted to investigators. This was recorded today, December 16th, 2022, with Chief James Fry with the Moscow Police Department and is available for media and public use. Now, here they say, as previously reported, I'm just going to read this little section one more time. From the beginning, Moscow detectives have asked for any and all video from residents and businesses within the area of West Taylor Avenue, north boundary, West Palouse River Drive, south boundary, Highway 95 south to the 2700 block of Highway 95 south, the east boundary, and the Arboretum and Botanical Garden, west boundary, who have video surveillance at their residence or business between 3 and 6 a.m. on Sunday, November 13th, 2022. Detectives are requesting all available video, whether there appears to be motion and content or not. So that's important because a lot of people are giving the police a lot of flack for saying, well, why are they only looking 9 days later, for video footage? Why are they only going there now? Well, they did ask everyone to submit it, and they are also going around asking for video. So I still think we've got to be patient, take it easy, because it's not CSI. It's going to take a while to catch this killer or killers, I think, in my opinion. It clearly has taken over a month. I think it could take a little longer, if not a lot longer, as we see sometimes. Oh, Jeanette, nice to see you. You say, I doubt Christmas is ever going to be the same for the families. I know, right? Oh, man, this is terrible. And Leah says, could the white car have been stolen? Absolutely. Could have been. Could have been, right? So here about the Elantra, they say, investigators would like to thank the community and public for recent information provided about the vehicle and spike in tips. The FBI is prioritizing and vetting those tips for use in the investigation. The public is asked to continue to use the tip line to report any information about the vehicle. Okay, so the rest is all the same. They've got pictures here that they show us as well, an example of what they're looking for, 2011 to 2013 Hyundai Elantra. And they say they are not the actual vehicle. At this time, no suspect has been identified, and only vetted information that does not hinder the investigation will be released to the public. Okay, so we've got that. So now, if I bring over this, and this was the one from 1 day ago, and this one is the most recent one. So let's quickly first look at this one.
Take us back.
Wait. Boost that, everybody.
When investigators first started asking for video, what sources were you asking to get video from?
Well, we started looking for video the day of the crime. Officers on scene, before I even arrived, had identified certain residences in the area that had video cameras. We know just from past experience that security cameras, doorbell cameras, and the like are very, very commonplace now. And that's a part of our standard procedures to start looking for a possible video source in and around crime scenes. So we started the day of the crime. And then that expanded as we got more investigators to the area for assistance, and we started putting together teams. And one of our team's sole job was to go through the King Road area, associated neighborhoods, and eventually the main thoroughfares in the city of Moscow, trying to identify videos, video cameras, etc., and then contact those business owners, contact those residents, and ask for copies of that video.
And initially, there was a particular area outlined as where the priority was for asking for video. Why was that area selected?
Well, that area was selected because essentially it surrounds the King Road area, and we know that people typically have to travel to and from. We weren't trying to pigeonhole our investigation into the suspect lives in the area. We wanted to make sure that we covered all the bases. And so as we began to gather more information, we began to expand our search area. You may recall from the second press conference that we specifically put out a plea to the public for any video in the King Road area, and then we gave a defined area, and we put that area on our website as well, asking residents, hey, if you have video or if your neighbor has video, let us know so we can get a copy of that. We understand that video has a finite life, and sometimes systems will start recording over themselves. So we started that process very, very early in the investigation.
Why ask the public for additional help with this white car?
Well, through our tips, through our leads, some of the evidence that came in, we start to identify patterns. And like we said earlier, we are confident that the occupant or occupants of that vehicle have information that's critical to this investigation. We also understand that even though there's sometimes a fascination with a particular case, some people simply don't see the news and may not know that we're looking for it. So if we get the word out there, hey, maybe your neighbor has one in the garage that they don't drive very often. Maybe there's one that's just not on the registration database. Let us know. So far, we have a list of approximately 22,000 registered white Hyundai Elantras that fit into our criteria that we're sorting through. That's an awful lot of information, but it may not be all of them. So the public can help us.
Okay, so that was the video from the day before yesterday. So now we're going to look at the most recent one, but they're looking into 22,000 white Hyundai Elantras 2011 to 2013, which of course tells us that they're not just looking in Moscow, Idaho, because there was a criminal professor from the university that said there's about 40 white Elantras in Moscow, Idaho. And so if they're looking at 22,000 versus 40, we can assume then that they're looking, of course, way beyond Moscow, Idaho, which is interesting. I don't know if it would be then countrywide or if it's just statewide. I'm not too sure. Maybe you guys have better stats on that, but interesting nonetheless. And that's what made me think, well, what in the hell? Like, who would, if the Elantra is in any way the killers, who the hell would drive through and do this and drive away or rent a car or do this? That makes it really interesting. Like, what the hell is going on here? But it might, as I say, just be someone who gave someone else a ride or who saw something. A lot of people also saying, why on that body cam footage? Did the students not hear anything or see something? But just remember, a lot of them were also pretty drunk, right? They were out and about and a little bit drunk when the police were there. So I don't know, but we don't know if they have come forward or what they said. Annie says 22K in what area? We don't know in what area, but I do have a whole bunch to show you today, to show you where they've been looking as well, just so that we kind of know. To me, it seems like it's between, I would say, from California and then all the way to Boise, Idaho. That's what it seems like, that whole area. But I don't know, yeah. Hannah says probably statewide or within a defined geographical area. Oh, also thank you to Rob for the super sticker. And thank you so much. Very exciting to have lots of new Grizzlies here. About 40% of you who are watching are not subscribed. So please do subscribe. It's free. And then you'll know when I'm next uploading or going live, especially if you hit the bell. And thank you to PT Notaman as well for your super sticker. All right. So what I want to show you now is this one. We're just working through all the latest updates. So just hold on one second. Okay, we've got this one next.
Are returning home for winter break. Does that present challenges for the investigation?
I think it's always a little bit of a challenge. We went through this, right after Thanksgiving and all that, but we have investigators all across the nation. We have investigators all across the state with the state police and the FBI. So we'll adapt to that and we'll continue to do our investigation.
What about investigators? Can they keep up this investigative pace over the holidays?
We will continue to keep up this pace. We're giving individuals time off when they need it. We're augmenting other people into those spots so that the investigation continues, but we're not going to stop investigating this.
What kind of progress has been made regarding the search for information about the white Hyundai Elantra?
We have looked at massive amounts of video footage, especially in the critical camera areas. And we looked at the 24 hours prior to and 24 hours after of those. And now we're extending that out even further to other cameras and other time frames. What
kind of manpower does it take to really deal with all of the video coming in and the tips?
We have massive amounts of people looking at this. Multiple different groups looking at the different videos in different locations, just because we have investigators all across the nation that are reviewing these videos for us and sending us back information on that.
Okay. So we've looked at the two latest videos and the press release. It's always where I start. What did Moscow PD say? And now we can look at everything else. What did someone say now that I still wanted to answer? Sorry about that. Oh yeah, lurker. If you're a lurker, just remember, if you subscribe, it's free. It's for you. No one can see if you have or haven't subscribed. It's not like by name and everything. So don't worry. Subscribe. No one's going to bother you. And then you'll at least know when I'm next uploading or going live, or when I've got a short for you or a community tab post or something. For everyone posting the good news about that missing American college student that was found, it's on my community tab already since the last 24 hours or so. So go check that out because the article's linked in everything. And yes, that was great as well. Okay. Thank you so much, Tahiti, Arizona, for that super sticker. And Francisca, I'm so happy I found you, Gizzy. You're the only true crime YouTuber I watch anymore because I know you've got it all covered. Quality over drama. Happy holidays to you and all my fellow Grizzlies. Thank you so much. Thank you very much. And you're wishing all the fellow Grizzlies. That's wonderful. Thank you. Thank you to Rochelle. I don't want to say it wrong. Thank you so much. Okay. And congrats to Miss Stewie, member for 14 months. Oh my goodness. Yes, Beholder. Thank you. Subscribing is free. Hit the bell to be notified. It's kind of just like signing up for a newsletter, you know? So if you just subscribe, you'll know when I'm next doing something. Okay. So what I've got now is we've looked at all of that. I wanted to show you this clip right here. I don't know what happened to Aaron Snell. He was the public information officer. Now they're saying this lady is the public information officer. So do they have more than one, or is he not speaking anymore? What's going on? Maybe the stress got to him. I don't know. I'm like, oh, but let's hear what this lady's got to say as well. Thank you, Where the Wind Blows as well. And Justice and True Crime. Nice to see you. Okay, so have a listen here.
So we know the vehicle was there. We just don't know who was in it, who may have owned that car, who may have information about what happened that night. So that is a real big focus right now as we try to get those answers. Naturally, they were at the right place at the right time to potentially see some sort of activity. Like a lot of our tips and leads, sometimes people don't know if what they're providing is critical information, but we still want that information because as we piece everything together, we have specific things we're looking for.
I just found that really interesting. Let's just go back again. So the car was there. It said just like that. Let's put it here. Thank you to Autumn Michelle for your super sticker as well. Okay. You guys. I just found it interesting when she says, well, they were there. So this car must have been caught, yes, on camera somewhere. I know they're looking at the gas station. I know they've asked for footage from there as well. The gas station attendant actually went over the footage herself. She was working there, right? And she went over the footage herself and saw this car, a white car, driving rather fast past the cameras, which we looked at in a previous episode on, I think it was, Taylor Avenue or something, down a side street. So that was interesting as well to come forward. So with this white Elantra is a big focus right now. And as Captain Roger Lanier said, even though this is a high profile case, not everyone actually follows cases or true crime. So you just never know. If you keep repeating the information and putting it out there, who might be like, oh my word, okay, whoa, I was there, I was driving this, if they're not following it. You know what I mean? Okay. Seems unlikely, but you just never know. Okay, so one more time.
So we know the vehicle was there. We just don't know who was in it, who may have owned that car, who may have information about what happened that night. So that is a real big focus right now as we try to get those answers. Naturally, they were at the right place at the right time to potentially see some sort of activity. Like a lot of our tips and leads, sometimes people don't know if what they're providing is critical information, but we still want that information because as we piece everything together, we have specific things we're looking for.
I mean, maybe the person's even scared to come forward, or maybe they just really don't know. Maybe it was like, let's make an example, like some granny just driving there, buying something, like, oh, here's a nice person. I'm going to give them a ride quickly, to wherever. Maybe that person has information. Who did you give the ride to? What happened? Like, what did they look like? What did they sound like? All this kind of stuff. We just don't know. Copper Horse says 100K by New Year's Day. That would be amazing. So make sure you subscribe, you guys. Damn. What a Christmas and New Year's gift that would be, right? 100K Grizzlies. And Algo says, follow up, is Idaho a two-plates state? Does anyone know that answer? Is Idaho a two-plates state? Okay. Hold on one second. All right. Yes, I've seen Karen, and we're going to look at that today as well. Okay, so we've looked at this. So what I want to do now is exactly that. We're going to just look at this, and then we're going to look at that, the video that Chris McDonough brought up with the white car going in the background. Idaho murders. Investigators traveled at least 24 miles to collect surveillance video related to the killings. Okay, so here they say, Moscow, Idaho. Fox News has learned investigators traveled at least 24 miles to the east of Moscow, Idaho, to the nearby towns of Troy and Kendrick to acquire surveillance video in relation to the quadruple homicide of 4 University of Idaho students. An employee at a gas station in Troy, Idaho, about 12 miles east of Moscow on Highway 8, tells Fox News that investigators asked for a video, but their property doesn't have a camera facing outside. A manager from the Food City store in Kendrick, about 24 miles east of Moscow, tells Fox News investigators asked for video from cameras on their property. So they're going around to Troy and Kendrick asking for video footage, which is pretty interesting to me as well. Thank you, Maria. Really appreciate it. Okay, you guys are answering it. Harley says, yes, you can be stopped for not having front and back plate. And also, I do think it is a, what did I say? I think it's a stock photo. There we go. The question from earlier as well. Okay, so here they say that manager tells Fox News that on November 30th, the Idaho State Police requested video ranging from November 12th to 14th, and the business was able to digitally provide that surveillance footage. Neither the gas station nor the food store indicated they thoroughly looked through their own video for anything unusual. Fox News also confirms investigators requested surveillance video from dozens of businesses within the town of Moscow, including a liquor store, a coffee shop, a gym, and a gas station. Of course, here in the Netherlands, we call that a cafe. Coffee shops are something totally different. Okay, so a liquor store, coffee shop, a gym, and a gas station. On Tuesday, Fox News Digital obtained a still frame from the gas station surveillance video that shows a four-door white sedan drive by around 3:45 a.m. on the morning of the murders. Investigators have said the students were killed between 3 and 4 a.m. On Thursday afternoon, the acting public information officer for Moscow Police, Robbie Johnson. So, what happened to Aaron Snell? Told Fox News that investigators are combing through information on 22,000 white 2011 to 2013 Hyundai Elantras registered in the Washington and Idaho region. Okay, so someone earlier said Pacific Northwest, Washington, Oregon, and Idaho. Thank you so much to that person. And here they say they are looking in the Washington and Idaho region. Police are asking the public to be on the lookout for the Hyundai, saying the white car was at or near the crime scene on November 13th. And as of Thursday afternoon, the driver or possible occupants have yet to come forward. See, that is a red flag. They are not coming forward unless they're not in the know. If they don't know anything about this case or what's going on, it's just someone that gave someone a ride, or they just drove past and they just have no idea. Maybe they were, I don't know, even lost at the time and did a little U-turn there. We just don't know. But still, it is a little bit odd that they haven't come forward yet. Maybe they just haven't heard about it. Oh, my word. Yes, Barbara Beard says Maptime, surrounding cities they are going. We will do Maptime. We're going to look at it. So they say, we don't know who owns the car. We need information from anybody that might connect us with who was in the car that night, Johnson told Fox News. So that could be anything ranging from somebody who happened to be there to whatever you might imagine. Wow. Okay, to whatever you might imagine. Police say the license is unknown. Johnson would not clarify if the license plate could have been removed. I mean, it could have been. It could have been. Fox News asked Johnson how many miles outside of Moscow police might have traveled to request video surveillance. She would not specify, but said video or tips could essentially come from anywhere in the country. It's not just one thing that we're looking into about the white car. It's many different things. And just taking that further until we get answers we need or find it is not taking us anywhere. I mean, like, whoa, okay. What are they saying? Okay, I might have to. How many? Wow, 4,200 people here. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here on a Saturday. I really appreciate it. For me, it's a Saturday evening, 6:30. I don't know what time it is for you, but thank you for being here. Thank you so much. True Blue says, I'm so happy I can come here for great discussions. I am too annoyed at the Grumpy Man's channel and tired of the negativity. I love Giz and her positive treatment of chatters and cases. Well, thank you for being here. The Grumpy Man sent me, I think I know who you're talking about, and they sent me an apology again. But yes, thank you so much. Okay, so Suzanne says, what do you think happened? Susan, sorry. We'll get into it. We'll get into it. So it is this car is like a real focus right now. Very, very interesting, huh? So what I want to do, where is that map? I've got lots of things to show you. So just hang in there. We're going to get through all of this stuff, okay? So here they say Idaho murders. Police expand the search area in quadruple homicide investigation as well. I'm not going to play that right now because we've got lots to go over. That's pretty much what the article was saying as well. And here they say, just as quickly look what you guys are saying. Okay. 12:13 Maryland. Okay. Hey, Gene, that's nice. You love the weekend streams. Me too. Okay, Idaho murders. Digital footprint for type of Hyundai Elantras being sought, likely slim to none, experts say. Investigators working the ongoing case involving 4 University of Idaho students savagely killed last month are likely limited in how they can go about tracking a Hyundai Elantra spotted in the area at the time of the slayings, an expert told Fox News Digital. Law enforcement officers are sorting through information on approximately 22,000 Hyundai Elantras that match the description of the one seen near the crime scene at the time of the murders. It was white and its model year was between 2011 to 2013, police have said. But investigators will likely not have the assistance of advanced tracking and GPS technology, at least not any software within the vehicle itself, because Hyundai Elantras were not outfitted with Blue Link technology until 2014. Mobile forensics expert Tom Slovensky told Fox News Digital. If we're looking for any kind of digital footprint from that vehicle, it's going to be slim to none. So that's probably also why, if they have, an idea of, a person of interest or something, and now they need to prove that they, not only were in the area, but also drove away from the area or something. I mean, yes, even if they knew who owns the car, whatever, it's going to be difficult to show that by tracking. They're going to have to find all this video footage to build their case, right? So they say Hyundai didn't start putting what's called Blue Link, which is like North Star, which is like OnStar, into the Elantra until 2014. A spokesperson for Hyundai would not comment when contacted multiple times for confirmation regarding the Blue Link software. Slovensky, founder and president of Cellular Forensics LLC, said his research showed the Hyundai Elantras from before 2014 do not include third-party technology that would allow investigators to pinpoint vehicles' locations at a certain date and time. For that car, the only thing it has is internal information. In other words, when they find the car, they can then try to download what phone was connected to it, he said, describing the kind of information that could later be gleaned from the vehicle. Police revealed December 7th that they had gathered information through tips and leads about a 2011 to 2013 white Hyundai Elantra being in the immediate area of the King Street residence during the early morning hours of November 13th. They added they believe the people inside the vehicle could have critical information related to the case. Okay. Joe says, sometimes I hear nap time and get a little, right? Don't worry. We do map time and streams and later map time. Yes. Okay. Thank you, Elgo. Caroline says, I rule out typical serial killer due to probabilities. I rule in families, friends, and exes, rule in anyone whose window aims at that house if the window shelters a male. I don't know if that's sarcastic or not. Thank you so much, Southwest SW 4x4 Explorers. All caps gets deleted from chat, bad on YouTube. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Thank you for reminding everyone. Indeed, it does. It's not good. It registers as spam. Yes. Thank you, Mike. Really appreciate it. Okay, so then they say investigators have been collecting surveillance footage related to the vehicle and the case. Kane. Now that is a difficult surname. It's like, see, because that could be like European, right? Franketic, a landlord for a property just 0.3 miles from the home where the students were killed, told Fox that he handed over hours of video footage from the building's surveillance system. He provided police with footage from November 14th and the video, which included footage of a white vehicle. So he seemed to be very, very helpful. Spanned from 2 a.m. through noon on the day of the killings. Wow, this house, it's so sad to see it like this. And yes, YouTubers have landed, everyone. They're out there now. So I really hope the case stays calm. Okay, on Tuesday, police went to a gas station on Troy Road in Moscow to collect 8 hours of surveillance footage, including a portion that showed a white sedan passing the area around 3:45 on the morning of the murders. Now, what I found interesting is if we go back to this here, is it this? No, where is it? I've got it pinned elsewhere. You know this, the civic alerts? So this is from the 15th, which today is I keep looking at the date. It's the 17th. I just can't believe, like, December is just flying by. Oh my word. So if we look at the 15th, then they say, just hold on one second. Suzette says, to all lurkers and skulkers, jingle that bell, feel the Grizzly embrace, and get G past that 100,000. Thank you so much. Okay, so on the 15th, they say suspicious person or circumstance incident address Troy Road at 1:42. And they say RP said they got a weird phone call 20 minutes ago saying there was going to be a delivery dropped off. And then another one, a citizen dispute Troy Road. They say guy came in and there was an altercation between the male and one of the employees. Officers responded, no report. I hope that's not, YouTubers or anyone going out there and bugging the crap out of that Troy Road, like those gas stations, and everything. I hope no one's like going in there harassing people. I'm not saying it's YouTubers. I don't think it is, but I just don't know what's going on here. I just see a lot of this Troy Road happening. There's a bit of a trend going on there. I'm like, oh no, who's going there? No one must interfere with the investigation. Okay. B12, exactly. A Christmas gift, 100K would be a nice gift. Now that would be nice. Today's the 17th. Can we get there? So, yes. And someone said, Jimmy, Grizzle always says, oh my word, it's so funny. Well, we even have a merch range for it. It's part of the vocab. I don't even notice I say it a lot. I just can't help it. Sometimes I'm like, oh my word. Okay. So the rest seems pretty standard. There's nothing too weird. The only thing I found weird that is if you go and scroll through all of them, because I wanted to go back to the 12th, 13th, 14th, it seems like those ones have been deleted now from November. The murders happened on November 13th. So when I go back like this, because I'm like, ooh, let me go look there if something happened on Troy Road at the time, or Taylor Road, or any of these side roads, especially that alcohol incident. I wanted to relook at that. You could see it goes 20, 19, 18, 17, and that's it. The rest is not there anymore. And I'm like, why? So I don't know. Maybe they just didn't want people looking into it so much. I was looking at it, like, what is going on there? What happened? Anyway, so there's that. And so I will show you the map in a moment. I just quickly want to, let's show you the map first. Wait. I know you like the Maptime song too, you guys. So today I'm going to play my original Maptime song, okay? Okay. I hope all the OGs that like that song, hope you enjoyed that. Okay. So, interesting. Angela says, I was wondering if one of the stalkers was a J. Was one of the J's. There's so many J's, right? Oh my gosh. So many J's and an I. Okay. So here, what I did was King Road, Moscow. I just quickly want to look. Yeah, so Moscow, Idaho is here, and they're looking for footage in Troy and Kendrick. That's the area where they've been asking for surveillance footage. So out of interest sake, I was just like, would that be on the way to Boise by any chance? And it actually, you would kind of go that way. So speculatively, the car could be in Boise, Idaho, or anywhere in the surrounding areas. Of course, yeah. We know some people that live in Boise, Idaho, right? One of the Jays lives there, and his alibi is he drove from 2 a.m. until 7 that morning. He drove to Boise, Idaho after the food truck video, right? Exactly. So if his alibi allegedly, the police haven't said this, it's pure online speculation, where they say when he was angry that the girls left him at the food truck video is what it appeared to be when pacing off. And then apparently his alibi is that he drove straight to Boise to stay in his parents' cabin there. And they do own a cabin there in Boise, Idaho. So I'm not saying it's him. And obviously there's not a white Hyundai Elantra that I can see linked to him. I'm just saying it could be someone that might be from a different area, especially because there was also a football game there that weekend. I think that was the University of California, though. You just don't know where people are coming from. This is reminding me again of that Kylie Rodney case and the party and everyone coming into one area. You're just not sure. A lot was happening there that weekend. There was a parents' weekend the weekend before. There was a football game here at that time. But yeah, police are starting to, of course, expand outward from Moscow. Troy and Kendrick is where they're looking at so far. And I'm sure they'll expand beyond there as well. 22,000 white Hyundai Elantras. My gosh. Please Be Happy says, why was Jack Showalter kicked out of the Corner Club? I don't know. That's also that's just reported publicly, right? But the police have never said it. That was rumor from locals and, students talking on Reddit and Facebook and everywhere else, saying that, but we don't actually have proof of that. As a result of this case, there has been a spike in Hyundai purchases across the US. Has there? Right? Yes, Stefan. Anyway, so I just wanted to show you this on the map so you could see where they're going eastward, kind of like Troy, Kendrick, and I wouldn't be surprised if they start going a little bit south and tracking, I don't know, all the way to Boise. Wouldn't be surprised. Maybe they're already there. I don't know. So that is how the map looks. Okay, well, that's what's happening there. And then if we go to, where's that clip that you guys want to see? Yeah, this one. This clip was from a month ago. It was posted November 15th, 2022, as you can see. And this is what everybody, wow, there must be 200 of you Grizzlies that sent me this exact clip. Thank you for sending it to me. I'm just like, whoa, you guys really want me to talk about this clip, huh? Dawn, it's interesting that a white Elantra with tinted windows is parked on Levick Street, times or by street across, right? A street Lauder Avenue for Street View 2021. It's right off the main street where the white Elantra was videoed. Yes, and people are sending me all sorts of stuff from Google Earth, from everything. Like, whoa, you guys are spotting white cars everywhere. I'm gonna have to quickly take this off so you can see nice and properly there. Okay, Karen says the suspense of this is driving me mad. I know, right? It's a very scary case. And thank you, Dawn, and thank you, Karen. Okay. So don't worry if you're late, if you're only here now, we have still got a lot to discuss as well. Okay. For everyone saying that there's a white Elantra parked at Jack D's house, the alleged house, which is just a few houses down, and the one that points at the house, we've looked at that in a previous episode. It is not an Elantra. That was cleared up. It was debunked. I mean, I hate to say on Twitter, but it was debunked on Twitter. I put it out there like, guys, we need to know exactly what car this is. And all the car specialists came out. They're like, that's not an Elantra. But I did also look at it. I drove around the area and I'm like, oh my word, like, what is this an Elantra? Apparently not. Barbara says, thank you for Maptime. Grizz is on it. It's my pleasure. Okay. Yes. Okay, so anyway, so this clip, okay, what's interesting about this clip, this is at 2:53. If you look at the back here, right here, a white car passes behind this reporter. So, yes, I think an episode was put out by another content creator that said, did the killer return to the scene? So this was November 15th. So 13th was a Sunday, 14th was Monday, so Tuesday the 15th. Okay, so I'm going to have to I'm going to slow it down, just so you can see it in case you haven't seen it before. I'm not convinced it's the car, but what would I know? I'm not a car specialist. I'm going to make it very slow. So let's play it. And then just watch at the back here. It's going to happen at 3:02. So just give it a few seconds. I've watched it a few times myself now, just to see. Okay, we're at 2:57. We're getting there. Watch at the back there. Watch at the back there. Okay, here it comes. There. You see it? There goes a white car. That's it. That's a white car right there that everyone's like, oh, a car. I must say, I'm only giggling because right now, oh my word, like every 2 seconds, like there's a white car, you get a white car, everyone's got a white car. Oh, this case it's crazy. Like my word, I hope law enforcement has a way of very quickly vetting those tips and seeing, no, that's not an Elantra, that's not one, because even just the amount of emails I get about every white car ever, it's amazing. My goodness. Okay. And someone says passes twice, lurking. Thank you so much, Dana. I really appreciate it. Yes, Richard, 5K in the chat. That's a big crowd. The record here was the other day was like 8,500. That was so shocking. Okay, so that's literally it. That's it from 3:02. Let's just see it go. There it goes. I mean, it doesn't look like it. I mean, it doesn't. I can't say no. That's definitely not an Elantra. It looks like it could be. It could be. Would be interesting. I don't know what they'd be doing there on that day. But if we just go another second back, okay. Please check the video of the first live interview. I'm not sure what you're saying. Thank you so much, Tara. Really appreciate it. And Bellhorse says WA State University is only 10 miles away from U of Idaho. Thoughts? WSU is known as a party school. Happy holidays. Thank you so much. Yes, we're going to look at some of that as well. Okay, so if we go here one more time, just so you can see it, and what everybody's talking about right now, it's like hot topic right now. There it goes. Okay. So you can screenshot it, pause it, do what you got to do, especially if you're a car specialist or car person. And what do you think? Let me know what you think about that. So that's that we've got to see there. Then Brian Entin. Oh, wait, now we've got to go back to normal speed. Yeah, okay. Brian Entin, who is a reporter for News Nation, in case you didn't know. Hope you do know. But if you weren't here in the Gabby Petito days, you wouldn't know. We all love Brian Entin. He was out there. Okay, he's still out there. And he actually showed the back of the house and drove the route. You know, because we only see like the house and the wooded area in the back, and we drive around on Google Maps a bit, but it was really interesting to see him actually drive around the neighborhood around the back there. So we could see all the directions that a white Elantra, for instance, could have come from. Thank you so much, TJ Reynolds. Mods, if I need to slow it anymore, just let me know. Thank you so much, Mince, as well. Okay. So here he's going to take us.
House where the murders happened. This is the house right here. You can see the police line is still up. I've shown you this parking lot before. There's this big parking lot right behind because there's an apartment building right over there. But we wanted to show you what's even further back behind the house. So follow me. You walk to the back of the parking lot over here, to the very back corner. And there's this trail right here. And you can tell that other people have walked on it before because the snow is packed down and there's footprints. So possibly students walking up to the neighborhood up above. Come around the trail here. It sort of loops around right by the backyard. Through the trees right here. To this fence line. And basically the little trail continues to loop around. I don't want to go in the backyard of the people who live back here, but we'll show you what's on the other side. Okay, so we're up on the road back behind the house. This house behind me, that path that I showed you, that path connects to the backyard of this house. And there's really a whole other neighborhood up here. We're going to show you. I'm going to get in the car and drive you up.
So this is what I really like to see. It's just actually boots on the ground, driving around the area and seeing it, right? So check it out.
And just show you what's up here, because it's interesting. You know, you've got the neighborhood down below where the apartments are, the college students. But up here, if you came up that path, you could have parked up here somewhere. Pan this way and show you. When you come around this corner, there's an intersection here. That's a dead-end street that way. This way is not a dead-end street. This is Ridge Road. So Walenta Drive we were on, this is Ridge Road. You see there's a whole other neighborhood up here. A ton of houses. And that area down below connects to this whole area up here. So you saw Ashley go up that path. It connects to that other yard that I showed you. And then you've got a whole nother area up there. A lot of places you could park and a lot of ways to get out.
And we saw that now. Like, I mean, we've seen it on Google Maps, but damn, seeing it like that, I was like, oh my word, like this person could literally, yes, have parked anywhere, person or persons, whoever the killer may be. I mean, they could have parked anywhere and walked to the house easily. It's quite scary to think about all the options, all the possibilities, right? Okay, so I just quickly want to check something here. Oh, yeah. You guys are saying, I wanted to show you this. This I put on Patreon a few days ago, along with other pictures, of course. We've got pictures of Fury. There's lots of stuff happening on Patreon. But here, someone put this on Facebook, but they were serious, okay? This was sleuthing. Hi all, new here. Can someone tell me if this guy's picture has been seen? He appears to be standing in front of the house. What date is this? Do the cops know? Is he a suspect? Friend? He looks super suspicious. So Yes, we all had a good laugh at that because it was like, oh my word, poor Brian Entin. Brian Entin is not super sus. He's literally reporting from outside the house. So that was very interesting as well to see. Then, yeah, that's the thing. Jeeves, you say, before this, I thought there's only one way out. So it was really interesting to see him, especially turning that way. We've seen all the other ways and the cameras around and the apartments and everything. This was just like really cool to see him drive that other way as well. Yes. Thank you, Sam. Sam says, not sure what you are like in person, but if it's anything like your internet personality, Mr. Grizzly is a very blessed man. Thank you so much. Yeah. Sus, you guys. So what we're going to look at here, why is this like that? Okay. Is, now, I don't know. Okay, wait. Here he is again. Sus. He's looking sus, guys, outside the house. All right. So this guy works in a vape shop in Moscow, Idaho. And he's talking about sort of knowing the girls because they came to the vape shop. We did see Kaylee vaping at the food truck video. And I mean, I don't think he has reason to lie, but I see people accusing him of, trying to pump his business or whatever on Twitter. I don't know. It's just still, it's interesting to hear. And again, Brian Entin's been walking around, boots on the ground, talking to people. And this was something that he was saying of, well, yeah, they did speak about Kaylee being stalked. So here we go again with another person saying, well, yeah, she had mentioned stalking. Thank you so much, Pernil. Hey, 93.7. Nice work, you guys. Nice work. Lurkers, if you are lurking, if you are part of the 5,500 here and you lurking, make sure you subscribe and then lurk again. Okay. You don't have to do anything beyond that. Subscribe so you know when I'm next uploading or going live. So let's have a listen to what this guy has to say here.
So Kaylee and Maddie would both come in very happy, very friendly. They always were just such a smile on their face. Just like pretty much you would say they're the light of the world, pretty much. Always happy, go lucky. They always came in just chatting. They always came with a group, like I said. They probably, I'd say 4 or 5 girls at most, all the time. They come in together. And I made a joke about it earlier. It was like, hey, coming together and stuff like that. It's nice to see you girls trying to stay safe. One of them more or less openly says, oh yeah, we've had a friend of ours be stalked before. So this is kind of why we all travel in a group like this. And just was it Kaylee who said that? Do you remember? No, it was Maddie who actually said that. So Maddie said it, and it was kind of like more mentioning, like motioning to Kaylee too, like who was right next to her. So you could tell that.
Tracy says, maybe Vape Boy is the killer now too. I know, right? Like every day at this point in this case is like, oh, killer. Everyone who comes forward now is like, this one is the killer. I mean, sure, the internet can be a wild place. I hope you find some sense of calm here in this community. I mean, we're not perfect, but damn, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if people are like, oh my word, this guy, like, what is he saying? What is he saying? Look at the background or whatever. So anyway, let's have a listen to what else he says.
That like they obviously all were trying to keep Kaylee safe, and to be there for her as good friends. And then, yeah, to know that a few weeks later, now I won't see them, anymore, anything like that. So it's crazy.
How long before the murder about was that?
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
3 weeks beforehand, because I was telling them I hope they had a good Thanksgiving break and everything like that too, because I didn't know if I'd see them again. So, because with a lot of the times with the kids, with the way after the pandemic, some of the kids leave in waves. So I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to see you this weekend or not. Hey, hope you have a great, Thanksgiving with your family. And that was the last I saw them.
Did they elaborate any more on the stalker comment?
I'm going to pause there as well. Girl Friday says, Girl Friday finds. So stalkers are statistically known for this type of murder, and why kill others too? There have been cases where stalkers and voyeurs, which are peeping toms, like Danny Rowling, and yes, like the Stephen McDaniels case, these voyeur stalkers, whatever, they have killed in the past. Yeah, Danny Rowling is a good example. Oh my word. The Gainesville Ripper. But it's not like all stalkers kill, right? But it is a red flag that they could be. Now, who's the stalker, Who the heck is that guy? Who was stalking Kaylee if she had a stalker? Because that would be quite the red flag, right? Welcome to membership. And thank you, Kraken Creative Studio. Really appreciate it.
They more or less kept making the comment that it always seemed to happen either by the campus or down on Main Street. And the last time the Kaylee more or less made it sound like it seemed like it was down on Main Street and that the person was coming from like around the corner club area, and then as far as I remember, it's the guy who ended up like trying to go and talk to her, and then he gave up on it, and he ended up walking away. So she thought she was being stalked up to a certain point, and then looked behind her, and he was no longer behind her. So
I just want to make sure that I get it right.
That's interesting. So I like how Brian asked again. Wait. Just got to make sure that I get this right. Say it again. And we get the story again. Thank you, Kraken Creative Studio. Thank you so much, everyone.
Yeah.
Tell me again exactly what you remember.
Just more or less, I made a joke about them being in a group, and they just said, yeah, you know, one of our friends and motioning to Kaylee that she'd been stalked recently, and so that had people constantly following her around. And it's not just a one-off thing, that this is apparently something that Kaylee had tons of issues with. Apparently she always had somebody who's constantly walking behind her like that. So, and it was more so at nighttime when they were out there drinking and stuff like that. Because I asked them, like, is it at school? And she's like, no, when I'm at night going out to.
I mean, that also, man, that whoever that white hoodie guy in the food truck is, because it's also just reported that it is Jack S, right? But we don't know for certain either. Cops have never said who that is. They say they don't believe he's involved in the crime. But of course, the fixation he had on, specifically Kaylee, I would say that's interesting. And I'm not saying it was him. It's just an example like that, something like that, like someone being there and following them around and, all of that. It's quite scary, actually. Thank you so much, Heather.
To the bars or coming back from the bars. And again, living down that way.
Did she specifically mention the corner club?
Not the corner club, but just in that general direction and stuff like that. So the only reason I would assume the corner club is because that's the only bar that's down in that area anymore now. So we used to have two. One was CJ's and then the corner club. It's just corner club now, then a whole block before it mingles. So
how many times did you see Kaylee and Maddie? How many times would they come to the store?
I'd say, now that I'm trying to think back in my head, I've only saw them maybe like 6-7 times total. So I say probably since the start of this beginning of this year.
Okay. 6 or 7 times since the beginning of the year when they came into the vape store. I mean, there are memorable people as well. Everywhere they worked, everywhere they went, people said they lit up the room. They were so friendly and happy, and obviously they're very beautiful as well. So, the stalker story, it sounds pretty scary. What do you guys think? Yes, I don't know how to say your name, Emochidoro. I still think an internet stalker obsessed with a girl's social media persona and was rebuffed and or made fun of. Could be. Really could be. Yes. Because, to be that angry or filled with revenge or whatever it is to kill 4 people, oh my word. It's really, really scary. Heather says there's a reservation out there southeast of Moscow. Rough area. I used to live there for work. Interesting as well. Okay, so we've looked at that as well. Then, so much news all the time. So they say University of Idaho fraternity Sigma Chi breaks silence on member Entin Chapin's murder 1 month later. So here they say the University of Idaho Sigma Chi fraternity honored slain member Entin Chapin in the group's first public statement since Chapin and 3 fellow University of Idaho students were killed November 13th. Chapin and his girlfriend, Xana Kernodle, along with Maddie Mogen and her best friend, Kaylee Goncalves, were brutally stabbed in the off-campus rental home between 3 a.m. and 4 a.m. a month ago. Sigma Chi wrote a 4-slide statement on its Instagram on Wednesday, which was the first public comment since the murders rocked the small town of Moscow, Idaho. All right. So, the Sigma Chi Foundation previously announced a scholarship in Chapin's honor in late November. Here's what they said. The loss of Entin, Xana, Maddie, and Kaylee has struck many hearts within the Vandal family as well as the Moscow community, the fraternity said in its statement. Our love and support for the Chapin family and the other families impacted by this tragic event will never fade. Entin was a beloved member of our chapter who never failed to bring a smile to someone's face or uplift them from a difficult time. His natural ability to lend a hand when we needed someone is what we all strive to possess one day. He'll be dearly missed, and his legacy will live on forever here at the Gamma Eta chapter. The statement continues on to say that they're cooperating with law enforcement in the investigation and trust that they are doing everything they can to bring a just and lawful end to this tragedy. To honor Chapin, the fraternity announced it created an annual scholarship in his name that will be given to a deserving undergrad member of the Gamma Eta chapter. The group has asked for privacy as they wrap up the academic year and continue down this tragic, unforeseen journey that we all have ahead of us. Okay. No, Des, you didn't miss it. You didn't miss it. Old Grizz says 4chan post about Sigma Chi brothers still seems most likely to me. Yes, so we're going to talk about some of that stuff as well today, of course. I just wanted to show you some of these things. They say Idaho killer was methodical and quick, says slain student's mom. So remember when Katie's dad said that it was quick, they didn't feel a lot of pain and all that? Like, that was a very interesting statement, but now the mom is also saying that. Kelly's mom, Idaho killer was methodical and quick. Okay, the mother of slain University of Idaho student Kaylee Goncalves described the killer as methodical and quick when he entered the off-campus rental home and murdered her daughter and 3 friends. I think this person went in very methodical. I think he really thought it out. I think he was quick. Christy Goncalves, sitting beside her husband, Steve Goncalves, told ABC's Good Morning America. I think it was quiet, and he got in and he got out. Of course, the possibility still exists that the killer was in the house before they all got home. That possibility does exist, especially because there's 2 unoccupied rooms at least. I mean, initially there was the rumor that the 2 surviving roommates were in one room as well. So there would actually be 3 unoccupied rooms. But if they were each in their own room, then Xana and Entin being in one room, that middle floor will have a spare room, like a vacant one. And the top one, Kaylee's room, would have also been unoccupied. So they could have been in the house as well. Okay. Thank you, Jane. You say maybe something to do with a student that overdosed, Maddie's previous roommate. Just because she may have unalived herself or OD'd or unrelated doesn't mean someone else doesn't blame the four. Maybe. We just never know. You just never know. I've seen a lot of those rumors. So I'm not sure. Of course, those are just rumors. Okay, so then what I wanted to show you was this clip from, we're going back to the, I would say Coyotes, but I think you guys say Coyotes in America. Am I correct? Dead coyotes found on the University of Idaho fraternity sorority doorstep. So the reason I said on my thumbnail, right, like it seems like pranks. These were drunk pranks. That's what they kind of put it down to, that they shot the coyotes and then they said their bodies, though, were mangled. So that means like shot and did, I don't know, who knows what else they did, but then put them on the doorsteps of certain fraternity and sorority houses. So the reason I'm looking at this is because I'm like, well, you know, sometimes if every year they're doing this and this and this and the next thing, you just never know if that could ever escalate to bigger and bigger, I don't know what. Pranks, goals, dares, who knows? Who knows? Or what kind of tensions are rising between the houses. I know that's also been happening. Never mind between the universities. I know that Moscow and Boise are also big time rivals, not only in the football, but also just in general. We see that as well on the University of Idaho. There's a page called Barstools UI, I think. And yeah, you can just see there's quite the rivalry between Moscow and Boise. So there's all of that as well. And then we know that Maddie's boyfriend was in Boise, and then Jack S., the food truck white hoodie guy, he's also from Boise. And you just don't know if that rivalry could add to it. I don't know. Okay, hold on. So you guys are saying it's regional. Coyotes is how I say it in the East Coast. Okay, so you all say it kind of differently, huh? Coyotes. So I could say coyotes? Cool. So let me play this clip. This is from 5 years ago. Welcome to any content creators rolling in. I see some people are saying hi to some people. I haven't seen your chat myself, but welcome. Thank you so much, Deborah. Coyote is an Aztec word, you say. Okay, so dead coyotes found, and this was posted on February 15th, 2017. So let's just have a look at this.
Discovery for students in the University of Idaho's Greek system over the weekend. Moscow police are searching for the person responsible for leaving coyote carcasses on their doorsteps. XY4's Drew Reed's working for you with who could be responsible.
For the second time in 3 weeks, students at University of Idaho were left with an unsettling discovery. Dead coyotes were left at the doors of several sororities and fraternities, including here at Pi Kappa Phi.
We're really, I guess, unsure why that was happening, but We got rid of it.
Moscow police say on January 20th, a student left a coyote carcass at a sorority as part of a drunken dare. It's still unclear if this incident is related.
See, so here from this news clip, I know you guys are saying, but law enforcement said it's not related. They said the skinning of that dog was likely not related. It's just like to just brush it off is like, oh, it's okay. Like dogs are just being killed and skinned. And there was already a 2013 article that I brought up in about 4 live streams ago where they said there's a serial dog slayer. What? And you just don't know what kind of psychopath type person could they usually do practice first on animals and what that could lead to. That's what I mean by an escalation of things. It could be, you know, it's just like, oh well, it's not related. Never mind about all those skinned and dead dogs and, you know, just these coyotes just left on the doorsteps of sororities and fraternities. I'm like, let's just look at it just one more time. Oh my word. To me, it really bugs me as well. Thank you, Mama, for. And Fernanda says, how strange was it that the survivors called the police at 11 a.m. saying they were unconscious as they might just be asleep? It was a Sunday after parties. I thought it was unusual. Very interesting as well. In that first press conference, they also said, yep, it's not quite what you'd normally say, I suppose, right? Coyote. Thank you, Powery Pro.
We don't have enough information right now as to who actually committed it, so we don't know if it's a continuation of the prank or someone else doing something.
The president of this fraternity says these coyote killings were pretty gruesome. The coyote's body was mangled, and he says the sorority across the street got it even worse. He says at Pi Beta Phi, there was more blood on the doorstep, even smeared on a window. Police say it appeared.
So Pi Beta Phi, I believe that's where Maddie, Xana, and the 2 unharmed roommates, they were from that sorority. And the other one, the Alpha Phi sorority, is also where the Coyotes were left. There were 3 sororities out of 10 where they left these bloody coyotes. Okay. Thank you so much, Shelly. You say, hi, beautiful girl. Hello to everyone. Well, hello.
It appears the coyotes were shot, which is not illegal in Idaho.
In the state of Idaho, all you need is a hunting license. You don't need a tag or anything like that, and you can hunt on public land.
Now, students left baffled as to who could be responsible.
It was just really, I guess, interesting because I thought it was just a one-time thing that happened a couple weeks ago with someone. But now that it happened a couple times, you know, I definitely think it was something unusual.
Police say placing these carcasses is a misdemeanor crime punishable by a $100 fine.
We do have a person of interest. We're still interviewing our first suspect to see if he has any connection to these other 4.
Now people who live at this fraternity want whoever is doing this to know they aren't amused.
It might just be like someone thinks it's a funny prank, but, you know, it is quite a serious thing.
I mean, so it wasn't just one time. It was a couple of times as well. And then here they say 4 Greek houses. That was in 2015, by the way. 4 Greek houses near University of Idaho wake up to dead coyotes on the doorsteps, right? So this is now an article from 2017. They say Moscow police are investigating after someone left dead coyote carcasses on the doorsteps of several Greek houses near the University of Idaho campus. 3 sororities and 1 fraternity woke up Friday to find the dead animals on their porch. Moscow police are investigating and said this is actually the second time this has happened this year. On January 20th, a man left a dead animal on the porch of a sorority and was caught on camera. He admitted to police he had done it on a dare. In that case, the suspect did not face charges because the sorority did not want to press them, said Captain Tyson Barrett of Moscow PD. In that case, the sorority just wanted the suspect to clean up the mess. In last week's incident, police said they do not have any suspects, though the man from the first incident is being questioned. I wish I knew who that was, right? In the second incident, it appeared someone threw the carcasses from a car from the alleyway behind the houses, Barrett said. In the first incident, the suspect had taken the time to place it nicely at the door. It's a misdemeanor to leave a carcass near a house, highway, or stream in the state of Idaho. If a person's caught, they would face a fine of up to a whole $100, right? Yes. I'm just reading what you guys are saying. So I'm just saying, something like that just being a drunk prank, or, you know, even between the sororities and the fraternities, I don't know, I just find it interesting to look at, right? And if it happened more than once and a few times, as they say, I think it's happened even more than twice at this point in 2022, because that was 2015, 2017. It's just interesting what could happen in 2022 then, you know? Here they also say dead coyotes found on University of Idaho fraternity sorority doorsteps. This was February 15, 2017. Moscow police are searching for the person responsible for leaving coyote carcasses on the doorsteps of the University of Idaho Greek system houses over the weekend, including the house Pi Kappa Phi. We were really I guess, unsure why this was happening, but we got rid of it, said Pi Kappa Phi President Ethan Ennis. Moscow police say on January 20th, a student left a coyote carcass at a sorority as part of a drunken dare. So in 2022, I'm just saying, what are the drunken dares today? We don't have enough information as to who actually committed it, so we don't know if it's a continuation of that prank or someone else doing something. Ennis says that these coyote killings were pretty gruesome. The coyote's body was mangled, and he says the sorority across the street got it even worse. Ennis said at Pi Beta Phi, there was more blood on the doorstep, some even smeared on a window. Police said it appears the coyotes were shot, which is not illegal in Idaho. In the state of Idaho, all you need is a hunting license. You don't need a tag or anything like that, and you can hunt on public land, said Barrett. Now, students are left baffled as to who could be responsible. It was just really, I guess, interesting because I thought it was just one time that this happened a couple of weeks ago with someone, but now that it's happened a couple of times, it was definitely something, I guess, unusual, said Ennis. Police say placing these carcasses is a misdemeanor and there's a fine of $100. We do have a person of interest. We're still interviewing our first suspect to see if he has any connection to these four. Now people who live at the fraternity want whoever is doing this to know that they aren't amused. It might just be someone that thinks it's a funny prank, but it is, quite a serious thing, said Ennis. Okay, so there's that as well. And then I've showed you this before, you guys. But this is now from 2022, November 30th, 2022, the University of Idaho victims sororities on probation for health and safety violations. I still don't know exactly what that is about, or what exactly, because they say Alpha Phi and Pi Beta Phi at the University of Idaho are on probation for violations or concerns regarding risk management, alcohol, drugs, or hazing. See, so what I'm talking about is also hazing. Hazing, I don't know, pranks, dares, tension between all the houses. I don't know. It seems unlikely, but you just never know in 2022. Yes. Okay. You guys are all like, that's crazy. Yeah, pranks are supposed to be funny, not funny. JW says the murder of the coyotes in the context of college activity is very important. I mean, Moscow, Idaho, I believe the population is 26,000 and 50% of that population is students. So, I don't know, in my mind, then it's 50-50 chance that these murders could have something to do with students. It could be a student. It's not unlikely. We've never seen it before. We've seen it before where students do terrible things. So, yeah. Marco says hazing is big time in Pi K Pi. Sigma Chi, 1855. Okay. Yeah, Coastal Butterfly says hazing and pranks are like jokes, not mutilation of animals. And that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. The trend of, I don't know. I've never been to college in America, so I don't know if this is just how you guys in America decide goes. I don't know. This just seems really violent. Whoa, these pranks are next level. And that was already from 2015 and 2017. Of course, then we had the pandemic, and that has a lot of college kids and youngsters and just everyone very frustrated from that lockdown situation. I don't know if you guys have seen that, an increase in frustration in teenagers and college kids and everything. Just they kind of I don't know, wanting extreme stimulation after all of that. So you just don't know. Dr. Edward Moskowitz, thank you so much. You said, thank you for your professionalism and caring, organized presentation. You are kind and an empath. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay. Yes. Someone says, Hans Wind. Interesting how one event can unravel many dark secrets. Okay. So here they say, the two sororities, to which 3 of the slain University of Idaho students belonged, are on disciplinary probation, according to community accountability records. Remember when the police also say, we don't want to know, we just want to know about the timeline, basically. Don't worry about what you're all doing, which again reminds me of the Kylie Rodney case when they're like, don't worry about all of you out there in the woods. Don't even think about what you were doing. We just want information. And no one wanted to talk. Remember that? So here as well, it's we just want the timeline. And no, we still don't have any clarity on Xana and Ethan's timeline that night beyond 9 o'clock, between 9 and 1:45, really what was happening. So I do find it interesting, and we went over the 4chan posts and the possibility of that as well the other day. So here they say, of the 10 sororities recognized by the University of Idaho, Alpha Phi and Pi Beta Phi are the only 2 listed as on probation for health and safety reasons. See, and those 2 were 2 of the 3 targeted with the coyote attacks, with the carcasses being left on the doorsteps in 2015 and 2017. So that's why I find it interesting. That's what I mean with there's a bit of a pattern. There's a bit of a pattern here where they say they are the only 2 listed as on probation for health and safety reasons, which refers to violations or concerns regarding risk management, alcohol, drugs, or hazing. So that could also, as I've said before, it could just be concerns because now 4 students have been murdered. So it could be that. But probation is interesting. So here they say, in addition to being on probation with the university, Alpha Phi is also on a restorative plan with a national organization. Pi Beta Phi is in good standing with the sororities headquarters. The University of Idaho chapters and national organizations for Alpha Phi and Pi Beta Phi did not immediately respond to questions on Wednesday. The University of Idaho also did not immediately respond to a request for comment. I mean, if it was just, no, man, it's just because of the murders, obviously, that would be interesting as well. So they say on Tuesday, a spokesperson for Pi Beta Phi's headquarters told Fox News Digital, Kernodle and Mogen were close friends. So Maddie and Xana, close friends of our members at the Idaho Alpha chapter at the University of Idaho. They and their families, along with the entire Vandal community, are in the thoughts of Pi Beta Phi members across North America. The emailed statement reads, Pi Beta Phi's focus is on supporting our chapter members at the University of Idaho through this tragedy. Kernodle was at the Sigma Chi house hours before the murders with her boyfriend, 20-year-old Ethan Chapin, a member of the fraternity who was also stabbed to death on November 13th. Sigma Chi is listed as in good standing with both the University of Idaho as well as the national headquarters. Okay. Wow. Sorry, I'm just looking at some updates here. Okay, so the rest here we know as well. The couple returned to Kernodle's off-campus residence less than half a mile away from the frat house around 1:45 a.m. I wonder if because Kaylee's sister could see the neighbor's camera footage of Kaylee and Maddie getting home, surely she would be able to see when Xana and Ethan got home as well, right? And then if that camera caught the girls coming home, letting the dog out for potty, as Olivia Goncalves said, that to me would mean then, damn, that killer must have come through the back, otherwise they'd be on camera, right? They must have walked to the back there somehow, even if they parked there or whatever it is. Okay, the Chicantique says, we've had a number of hazing deaths in frats here in the PA area. I wish the national chapters would finally put an end to this crazed, senseless hazing rituals. Maybe this case will be the nail. Could be. Lazy Millennial says there was a fight at the Corner Club. If you know more about that, please email it to me, grizzlytruecrime@gmail.com. And Loana says, where can I post some info about the student who's making knives? If you want to send me an email, it's grizzlytruecrime@gmail.com. You can also go to my website, grizzlytruecrime.com, and you can contact me there. All right. So I would love to hear from you guys who are locals or part of these, fraternities, sororities, and tell me more. There's lots of emails coming in. I really appreciate all the information so much. Sometimes because of the volume, I'm not able to reply to everyone, but I really, really appreciate all the information. And if I do say anything, unless you say, please keep me anonymous, I will give you credit. Okay. So, yeah, you guys are saying that the dog knew the perp sus. Well, that or what if the dog was given a bit of a tranquilizer? I also find it so interesting how the coroner is saying, well, that the toxicology reports are just like not important. I mean, it is important. This is a very hectic, high-profile, quadruple homicide case. I think it's important, especially if there was no screaming. Now, yes, or anything, it's just important just to have all the details, right? The coroner's getting a lot of heat, I see, lately, even from the Goncalves lawyer, but just online and everything for everything she's saying. Apparently, she told Kaylee's 17-year-old sister graphic details on the phone about the injuries and stuff. That's a bit hectic. Oh, my word. I just really want to read the rest of this in case there was something, because I always pin it if there's something here. They say Madison Moy, a fellow student and neighbor, previously told Fox News Digital that nothing was out of the ordinary and she saw Mogen at the bar just laughing with all her friends. It was just a normal night in Moscow. Moy, a 21-year-old sophomore, told Fox News Digital this week. Moscow's a safe place. Nothing like this ever happens. I didn't think anything of it. So here they say Goncalves and Mogen returned home at about 1:56 a.m. Police believe that an unknown assailant stabbed all 4 victims to death sometime between 3 and 4 a.m. with a fixed blade knife. I see a lot happening online as well, speculating about this fixed blade knife, that it could be a sword. People are saying sword, they're saying machete, they're saying all kinds of stuff. Why did initially people say Rambo knife or K-bar is because apparently the police had gone around to local stores and specifically asked about K-bar knives and if anyone had bought it. Okay, so the rest here, I think, yeah, we've seen this, right? I'm so worried I miss out on something, so just hold on. The University of Idaho's Alpha Pi chapter previously wrote in a tribute for Goncalves that she was the most devoted, spontaneous, adventurous, and considerate sister. She was also a fun-loving prankster who never left us without a smile. So I wonder if she had pranked anyone before, or, I don't know, made them really mad. I don't know. I don't think it's that. I'm just saying. It's always possible. In 2022, you just never know. Pi Beta Phi at the University of Idaho described Mogen as the sweetest soul and Kernodle as a magnet for positive energy. They were both bright young women who had incredible futures ahead of them, the sorority wrote in a tribute to the women. So, this is the Barstool Idaho, University of Idaho page. It's pretty interesting. Normal college stuff. But what I mean is, this type of thing, no, this is going to be tame and lame for a lot of you. You'll be like, what the hell, that's nothing. But to me, it just shows what people are doing these days. It's like jokey, you know?
I'm not going to go fucking full swing. No, go full swing. Ain't no flip. I'm holding him up, don't worry. Go full swing. Oh, I'm not going to go fucking.
I'm just saying, it's like funny. And this page is full of lots of things. I like all their posts with the dogs. Good Boy Friday, they call it. I think this is the Corner Club. There's nothing red flaggy about that. I'm just showing the passion. And then everybody's looking at this one, mostly because there's a white car in the background. So I'm just going to show it to you. But also because, remember when we looked at those other 2 boys from the 4chan anonymous post? We were looking at David and David. One of the Davids is tagging Ethan in this one here.
Minions!
Wait. So people are looking at this car here and all these cars. They're looking at every car of every post right now is being looked at. So this is called Barstool, University of Idaho. And where is that post? Wait. Here. This David is tagging Ethan in this one. So people are like, oh my word, Ethan was tagged. And then there's a white car in the background. And I don't know what really to make of this, but I'm just showing you some of the fraternity stuff.
Tonight we steal the moon! Yeah!
Nothing really to look at there, right? So yes. There's just, if you want to just go and look through this, feel free to. Everyone's sending me screenshots and all sorts from here, all kinds of things. And the reason I just looked at it is because, well, let's see what's going on here. Here, of course, you can see the president. They say our president is better than yours. He's taking shots with all the students and all that. Here's like, I don't know what's going on here. So there they say that's the proper way to open a bottle. Sorry, this one always cracks me up. This one is like BSU. University of Idaho. Oh man. So they say we made the right choice. You know, there's a whole bunch here that people are looking at and analyzing, and for me it's more just damn how drunk people are, which I know is a college thing, but then also just the dares and the pranks and the everything like that. I probably sound like such a freaking preppy boomer right now, but it's okay. Just seeing concerning trends of escalated prankery. Okay. Like that is interesting to me. Now, I've got Ken Mains over here. Ken Mains. I was like, what else have I pinned here for you? This episode, Death Row Killer gives specific insight to the Idaho College murders, redemption from death row. Now, this death row inmate, he actually, I think he murdered one person in his life. He's on death row, and he has his own podcast as well. Now, some people don't agree with people talking to death row inmates, but that guy has studied so much behind bars. It's pretty interesting to hear his insight. And he said a few things. I was going to say two things, but a few things that I actually wrote down. He said that if the killer or killers, if they were watching, in his mind, he thinks it's one, right? If they were watching for some time or even just waiting that night, waiting for the lights to go off, if they were outside the house, there is a likelihood that on the trees outside, somewhere there are going to be knife marks or carvings or something. Sometimes killers or voyeurs or peeping toms or whatever they are, or just waiting for the lights to go off, could use that knife while they're waiting because they're kind of anxious. They're ready to go. You know, they've got a goal in mind, as sick as it is. They could have made carvings on the trees. So, man, if I lived there, I would go to those trees and check out all those trees. I'm sure law enforcement already has, but I'd be like, damn, like, are there carvings on the trees? Then he said he fully believes that the killer was already inside the house. That's interesting as well, especially with 4 people being murdered. Could be. He said if this is a serial offender, this wasn't his first and it won't be the last. He called it instrumental violence. He said it's cold-blooded. This instrumental violence is often cold-blooded, often by a stranger, and psychopathic, which is not to be confused with mental illness. The goal in this, based on the information, is that this was not to scare. This whole mission was to kill, which is, of course, also what Katie's parents are saying. They're saying quick and methodical, and, you know, the police are saying targeted. So it's like, yeah, they definitely just didn't go in there to just scare people. There was a mission to go in there and kill, right? 3 or 4 people. 4 people died. He talked about admiralia. I've never heard anyone else use that term, but he said it's a fixation, and it's like a relationship in someone's head, a relationship that doesn't really exist in reality, right? But they, even if someone just glances at them, makes that eye contact, they're like, oh man, I'm so in love and I'm in a relationship with this person now. So that gives to the whole voyeur peeping Tom type of theory. But even if in their head they're living this relationship with this person and they've got this new obsession, and then they get rejected, for example, that could really trigger them, like set them right off, right? And he said this would be a serial offender and not a hitman. So that's according to that. Now, if you want to go check that out, go to Unsolved No More. Make sure you say in the comments over there that you're a Grizzly, okay? Show Ken Mains some Grizzly love. He's not usually a fan, and I don't blame him, of true crime YouTubers. But he's very nice on email. He's very nice on his videos. He's replied to my comments and stuff. And he actually gave me a little shout out. So that was really, really nice as well. But the Grizzlies that have made it over there, thank you, everyone, for being so kind and respectful to Ken Mains and for sharing your thoughts there as well. So go over there, subscribe, and say, hey, I'm a Grizzly. Okay. Yes, Van Lechim says, let's send Brian Entin on tree bark duty. Yesterday, what was interesting as well, is that apparently there were 9 or 10 state trooper cars outside the Sigma Chi fraternity. I thought that was an interesting development. I'm like, oh my word, is there going to be an arrest? I don't know. But to me, this 30-year-old former U.S. Army guy who was also in the fraternity before, I'm like, it's just interesting to me. Southwest 4x4 Explorers. I think it's one killer, because any more than that, they can't keep a secret, just saying. Love you, G. You're great. Thank you, Laura. In my mind, personally, I'm like, well, to me, it seems like it would be one. when I told Mr. Grizzly this whole case, because of course he hears it, even though he's not a true crime, he doesn't like true crime. But I'm like, and then, so he's like, no, I think it's 2. He's like, I think it's 2, and they were in the house. I'm like, interesting. And then we have interesting debates. So I wish you guys could be a fly on the wall for some of that. So it could be 1, it could be 2. And if you say they can't keep secrets, well, that's what I'm saying about this recent SWAT team situation, the shootout. What if 2 or 3 knew about it and this other one threatened everyone? I don't know. It's a possibility. Thank you, L. White, for that as well. Hey, Angela says, I've been subscribed to him for a bit. Kathleen says, G will pin Ken's channel in the comments. I absolutely will. You guys know that after every live stream, I do all the timestamps for you, especially for replay watchers. And then you can just click on the links that are there for you as well. All right. And then the last thing was, I've talked a lot today, you guys, for a Saturday. Holy moly. Oh, my word. Been running my mouth over here. So this is the attorney for Kaylee Goncalves' family, for the Goncalves family. And what he says here, just about the coroner and the conflict of interest based on that other dude. Remember the other dude? What is his name? James? The guy that like cut his own arm and got arrested and has a previous murder conviction, all that. We were all saying, well, that seemed like a conflict of interest. And some people are like, it's not a conflict of interest. It's totally normal. And I'm like, oh my word. It just seems a little bit weird to be like part of this high profile case, but then you are the defense attorney for another killer, like some other guy. Like, I don't know. It just felt a bit weird. I know there's public defenders that just get assigned. There's apparently 3 in Moscow, but I like what he said. Yeah. Cause I'm like, well, this is an attorney. She's also an attorney. Yes. Thank you so much, Eva Cooper. Dandy Lioness says hiding in a closet would be very risky. What about hiding in one of the unoccupied rooms, though? Because there was one unoccupied room on the middle floor and one occupied room on the top floor as well. Thank you so much, everyone. RC says, I could listen to G talk forever. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's have a listen to what he's saying over here. Let's just make sure the sound is good. Okay.
I mean, I have issues with the coroner. Number one, expressing all of her opinions over the media at, I think, at inappropriate times, number one. Number two, making a personal phone call and describing graphic details of what she discovered and what she, to the family, I don't think was beneficial in any way. I don't think she did it out of a place of spite. I think she did it because she was, trying to give them more details. But once you hear certain details, it's not helpful to the family and certain things. So, and I could go on and on about the coroner. The idea that she's a criminal defense attorney at the same time that she's a coroner, I think could present a conflict down the road. And the fact that she's continuing to defend people during this investigation. And she's done it before. I mean, yes. The fact is that there was she was involved in she was a coroner on a murder investigation in Moscow years ago. And she also was the defense counsel on the case, which blows my mind. We believe
What do you guys think of that? Right? I just really want to find one picture to show you. Just hold on. I got to find it here somewhere in my Twitter messages, If you haven't found me on Twitter yet, it's at Grizzly Gisela. So very interesting as well. There's some interesting stuff that I can't show you there. Just hold on. Maybe I can just quickly stand by, everybody. Just wait. Let's see if I can put it on my screen here. Properties. Where's this image? So annoying. Hold on. Wait for it. I'm coming. I just wanted to show you this one picture that I forgot to show you last time. Oh, so annoying. The format. Oh, man. Ooh, even that. Okay, wait. Sorry, now you're staring at my side profile. You're like, what is she doing? I want to bring this over here. Remember when we talked about that 4chan stuff? So tiny though. But this guy over here, I might have to screenshot it. Hold on. That would be that Loach guy, and they talked about him on 4chan. Well, he's sitting on the couch at the house, so he has also been there before. So I found that quite interesting too. I'm not saying he's guilty of anything. I'm just like, very interesting. Very interesting. Okay. Yeah, definitely conflict of interest, right? The coroner. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's go here quickly. Here we go. Here we go. We're getting it. We're getting it. There he is. Okay. There he is. This would be that Loach guy on the couch. Doesn't matter. He's smoking on the couch. Nothing red flaggy about it. It's just like, oh, so you do know the house quite a bit, huh? And there was all those rumors on 4chan about this dude. Okay, so I wanted to show you that. And then there's one more thing, which I think, yeah, it was this one. This was a slightly different interview than the one we saw from the Sigma Chi frat president.
Not on the top.
You said Xana was a friend and Ethan was like a member of the house? Or? Okay, got it.
And what was your name again?
Reed.
Reed what?
Ofstun.
How do you spell that?
OFSTHUN.
Okay. And are you an officer here at the?
I'm the president.
The president of the frat house.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I gotta head to class. Thank you guys for coming. Have a good rest of the day. Thank you.
Yeah, he doesn't like talking to people. Okay, so Derek says, sorry, I just found you. Thank you for finding me. And if anyone just found me today, or you found me whenever, or you're just lurking, you're checking it out, just make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you know when I'm next uploading, so you can lurk again or check it out again. Derek says, sorry, I just found you. I apologize for being late to your game. I have one question. Is Joe V officially cleared? No, actually, no. They've never mentioned him as one of the cleared people. They haven't mentioned, of course, for instance, the crazy accusations going around about Kaylee's dad, and they can't mention the whole world, but no, they've never mentioned Joe V. That would be Tan Hat Guy. For all of you are like, who's that? Who's that? Yes. Thanks, Ange. Exactly. Joe V has not officially been cleared by the police department. So that is what we have there. I just quickly want to go, which is over here. They talk about rumor control right here. And if we go, where's that one where they say, yeah, at this time, this is who they've cleared, who they think is not involved. They can't clear anyone because it's an active investigation, but who they do not believe at this time in the investigation, detectives do not believe the following are involved in this crime. The 2 surviving roommates, the male in the grub truck surveillance video, which is very vague, but you see, we think that they mean, oh, okay, cool, the white hoodie guy, but it could be any male. There's so many males, so many. That's a nice vague one. Politically correct, you know what I mean? The private party driver who took Kaylee and Madison home on November 13th. I would love to know, what car did they drive? That would be interesting. And why haven't they said anything? Maybe law enforcement has obviously spoken to them, right? We've never heard from them. The male that Kaylee and Madison called numerous times during the early morning hours of November 13th, which is Jack number 1. Okay, Jack D. Any individual at the residence when 911 was called, or the individual on the lease who moved out of the residence before the school year started and was not present at the time of the incident. Yes, and Sandra says, I think the killer often went into their house when they were away because, they killed in the dark. So they would have to know their way around in the dark. That is interesting as well. Very interesting. They would have to maybe do a bit of a practice run. But I suppose if they're walking around in the woods in the dark as well, they're probably used to walking around in the dark, speculatively. So this is who they have officially said they do not believe is involved in the crime. You guys are saying, was Chef Dizzy at the food truck that night? Was it him in that photo? I really don't believe so. From everything that I can see, I don't think the guy wearing the poncho is Chef Dizzy. But everyone can make up their own mind. In my opinion, no. Like, I'm not good at spotting the differences with like cars, but with faces, body language, people, yeah, I'm pretty good at that. Frankie says 4chan or Reddits go along with a police body cam with the 2 screams and 4 people running in the background. That's true as well. It's very interesting, right? If you guys haven't seen it, the body cam footage, Law and Crime Network provided the full extended one. And then Plunder, another YouTube content creator, she actually slowed down the portion there where you can kind of hear a noise in the background. Whether it's a whistle or a scream or whatever, I'm not too sure. Not too sure. You can, again, make of it what you will. Go check it out over there. Elbows Mom, nice to see you. Gee, fantastic updates and coverage as always. The best true crimer ever. Thank you so much. Life is Short says, love your channel. Your research is excellent. Thank you for all you do. Thank you so much. And thank you, everyone. If you lurked and subscribed today, oh my word, thank you so much. Even if you never chat. There's some people that are like, but I never want to chat. I don't want to chat. That's okay. You don't have to chat. Just make sure you subscribe so you can always be here with us. We want you to be here with us, whether you are just lurking, whether you're actively chatting, whether you're a replay watcher. I really appreciate it. We have Grizzlies from all over the world. Love that. We've got Grizzlies in Asia, Australia, Europe, South Africa, the UK, Canada, America, everywhere. So it's really, really cool. Thank you so much. Let me quickly see if I can find this one piece of fan art, which I also shared on Patreon. Look at this one. Look at it. It's so cute. That's me, everyone. I look snarky over there. So thank you so much to all the Asian Grizzlies as well. There's a whole Tokyo Grizzly fan club. I love that. That's so cute. So thank you for that as well. And those are pretty much the updates for today. I will link everything as well. I'll link Ken Maines' channel. I will put all these links to the articles and all the timestamps, everything we went through. Looking forward to hearing your thoughts in the comments below as well, of course. And if you wouldn't mind, if you haven't yet, please like the video and share it as well. Not only does it help the algorithm and helps other people know, oh, there's a video that was posted today or a live stream that I missed out on, so they can come and watch it as well, so they don't get FOMO, you know. But it would also help to categorize it on social media, hashtag Idaho4, Idaho students, Grizzly True Crime as well. Yes, Vanderchum says, love that anime art. You know, Mr. Grizzly loves it so much, he wants it for his channel too. Yeah. Thank you so much, Joe, for reminding everyone. 6K viewers, 2K likes. Don't forget to like the video, guys. It's free. Subscribe for free, like the video for free, and hit that bell so that you get reminders when I next go live. All right, everyone. One would think people don't need reminders for that, but they do. Unfortunately, they do. So I hope you enjoyed today's episode. It was my pleasure bringing you all this stuff, all this news. I mean, there's so much more. There's a lot to discuss. Also, lastly, if you are a member, and of course, if you're a patron, look out on your community tab and patrons in your inbox, because we're going to have a members only stream either later or tomorrow. I'm thinking tomorrow sometime around the time that this live stream happened. So we're going to look at Chandler Halderson's jail calls together. We're going to have the snarky robe time and all that. So I'll see you there. Thank you so much, Marco. I really appreciate it. And thank you everyone who's new here, who's OGs and everyone. I will see you in the next one. And yes, I'll be here over the holiday season. I'm not going away. I'll be here. So if you're not doing anything, you know to be here with us, okay? Thank you so much, Jane Smith, 100K before the new year. And thank you, mods. I know it's been crazy times, and I really, really appreciate everything that you do. All right, everyone. I will see you in the next one. Bye. Stay safe.